Hey guys, Billy from Team Kuribrohs here, just with Cormac's new deck profile from post Extreme Force Magicians.
Yeah, the new former Pendulum Magicians with this guy, who's pretty insane.
Yeah.
We'll get into him in a little bit.
Do you want to go into the main then? And...
Sure, yeah, we'll just go into the main deck. This deck, it looks like it's fairly similar from the start, but there's some changes you'll see later on.
Yeah.
So we'll go through the standard stuff. 3 Joker, like it's normal summon the deck, it's just insane.
Yeah.
I shouldn't explain that. 3 Wisdom Eye. One of these cards is getting hit on a ban very soon. They're just insane.
Or both.
Or both. Yeah. Both could happen. There should be no reason to explain this. 3 Double Iris. This is the best card to always have.
Yeah.
It's insane because it combos so well with the Electrum. Because you keep popping it and just getting free pluses. Yeah. It's a way to keep triggering it first turn, which is the main reason why this deck will be so much better post Extreme Forces. And then 3 Harmonizing, just your best Pendulum summon.
Unless you're Ryan Sheelan.
Unless you're Ryan Sheelan.
And you open 3 on stream. Whoops.
Unfortunate, shout outs to Ryan. I feel bad for him. But yeah, obviously this card's insane. High scale. Sometimes actually having its attack boost effect is like relevant in matches, which can be really important. New format.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah, exactly, which is like pretty good. And then 3 Purple Poison. Yeah. This is something that's not necessary to play 3. I think everything else
is necessary.
You have to play 3 of just because it's consistency and they're like insane cards. You could get away with maybe 2 of this because this deck is pretty tight for space at the moment. Yeah. Like it is 40 cards, but like you're putting a lot of stuff to make it 40. Yeah. But this is like your best low scale, especially to have with the trap. Yeah, it's really good. And just going second into boards, it's really strong to have. Yeah. So playing 3 of it's really good. And then some of the extra one was 1 Oath Dragon. We're not playing Desires anymore in the deck because of some other cards we're playing. So you don't need to play 2 of it just to make sure like you don't banish 1 or something like that. And you can also add it back with Electrum. So like if you ever need to recur it, you can. And then 1 Pendulum Sorcerer. This is a card that like is kind of here nor there.
Yeah, you can like probably cut it as well.
You could probably cut it, but it's kind of cool in scenarios where
you open the Astrograph.
If you open the Astrograph, or if they are playing cherries for this. Yeah. This is just a way, like a main deck. Dual search, dual alliance searchable target as well.
Yeah. It lets you just play normal Pendulum Magician like if you get cherried.
Yeah, more or less. That's basically how it is. That's most of just the basic Magician core that we're all used to. The extra stuff that we add in now is 3 Astrograph. This card is insane.
Yeah, it's so
it was like people were playing 1 of it, maybe 2 of it in Pendulum Magician at the moment. Yeah. But we max out it now. We also max out on Chronograph.
And it's kind of funny seeing Chronograph.
It's kind of weird. But the main reason we play these because they have 2 effects which are really important. The monster effect in hand is if a card you control is destroyed by a battle card effect. They both special summon themselves. Astrograph adds a card that was destroyed this turn. And this special summons another monster from your hand.
This is really cool if you like use something to destroy it, summon the guy from hand, make Electromite, and then you still have your Pendulum summon.
So you can grab a Skullcrbat Joker and then normal summon it if you do that play.
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of these, because they also have Pendulum effects, we also play the 1 copy of Stargazer and 1 copy of Timegazer. So their Pendulum effects are you can destroy them and either place 1 of these in the scale or special summon them. So it's another way to summon Electrum before your Pendulum summon, just by getting bodies onto the board. Also, like if you open up 2 of these, or any combination, you can pop 1 and then trigger the other one, which is really strong. And like their scale effects are like sometimes kind of relevant, like in weird scenarios. This is also
these skills.
This one like prevents them from activating traps when you battle with the Pendulum.
The on-field effect of that is really good too.
Oh, this
stops
is really
your stuff from getting waveringized.
Yeah, so the first time any of your Pendulum scales will be destroyed, this turn it's not destroyed, which is really strong. The monster effect of this is relevant, we'll not talk about it. But the important thing about this as well is that it's 4 more low scales for the deck, which I think was a big problem you would have in the old Pendulum Magician deck, because you sometimes just wouldn't see any low scales. But this is like the new big engine that you'd be playing in the deck. I think a lot of people are catching on to it now.
Alongside the next card too.
Yeah, alongside the next card as well. This is the other big thing that we added to the deck.
Photon Trasher 2, or Pendulum Monster.
Basically. So this card says it's a dark monster as well, so you can make things like Evil Storm Nightmare with it, which is really strong. So its scale effect is once per duel, you can special summon it if you control no monsters from your scale.
It also gains 1100 attack if it's the only monster.
So it's like 22. You can like scale it special. It's a 22 beat tick.
Yeah. So if you have to beat over stuff, sometimes it's really strong. There's also like different builds you can play where you can potentially play like a small like engine of what the Abyss Actors, so you can play like one of the spell and send it to add stuff back.
Yeah.
But like it's mainly just here as a Photon Thrasher, so you can just make your Electrum 20 Pendulum summon.
This is basically the Electrum Turbo variant.
Yeah, it's Electrum Turbo. It's just trying to make sure you get Electrum out like pretty much every single turn and as much as possible before Pendulum summoning.
Yeah, it does use hard enough to cherries though.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, like some of these cards in particular, like the Chronographs, the Astrograph to an extent, although it's still pretty good, and then this card as well. If you get cherries, it can be really, really painful. But it's a case of like they better have it. And if they don't, you just go insanely plus. And then for the hand traps, you played 3 Ash, 1 Maxi. I would maybe consider playing some more hand traps like Ghost Ogre. I think there's a lot of potential for a bunch of different hand traps next format, depending on whether or not we get a list fairly soon. So a lot of people are actually talking about playing something like Veiler in case Spiral gets hit and Resort goes away. Because hitting Veiler on this can sometimes just be really, really important, or like better than some other hand traps. Because Ash just really doesn't do much to Electrum. Cool. Is it on? Cool. So like Ash doesn't really do much to Electrum other than its draw effect, but the majority of the time you're either adding back an Astrograph to trigger its effect, or you're popping a double Iris. This is always chain link 1, you're always going to miss timing with it, with the Ash. So this card is mainly in here as a way to beat another card here that we'll show off in a second. And then the Maxi is just Maxi.
You don't need to explain.
Exactly, yeah. You can maybe play stuff like, people are testing like Droll, you can play Ogre. I'm a big fan of Ogre personally, because hitting Ogre on this, if they're playing some of these Electrum Turbo variants like this, they're playing with 3 cards on hand and like they have to place 2 for scales.
Veiler's quite good as well.
Veiler's also pretty strong, for sure. So that's, of course, that's the thing, if Resort goes away. That's all the monsters, I think it's something like 32, it's like really, really high. But like you just want to see as many Pendulum cards in your hand as possible.
Scales are kind of monsters.
Basically, that's
They're half monsters, half spells.
So
they're starters and extenders.
That's what they're printed as.
Wow!
So that's the monster count, and then we have the small spell and chop lineup, so 3 Wavering. This is
best card going second.
Best card going second. It's also presuming that we get a banlist that hits Spiral, because if a banlist hits Spiral, this deck just becomes the next best deck.
The only
real deck in the meta, I imagine so. So if we don't get a list anytime soon, I would consider cutting these from the main deck and play something like Cosmic Cyclone instead, or extra hand traps. But list pending. It depends. This is like a free slot, but if there's a list that comes out that hits Spiral and leaves Pendulum Magician as the best deck, you have to play 3 of this.
These can be kind of interchangeable for Ogres now.
At the moment they can be.
If Spiral don't get hit.
Again.
Or if you're playing events like next weekend.
Of course. And a lot of people who have not felt the pain of getting Wavering before will learn very soon.
I hate that card too.
It's pretty stupid. It'll probably get banned at some point.
Why is it still at 3? Why they put it back at 3 rather?
Of course, it's really, really annoying. Then we play 3 Duelist Alliance.
This card's really weird.
This card is really strange. Like you almost don't want to play 3 of it, because opening 2 of it is really, really painful because of its hard once per turn clause.
But there's a lot of like hard once per turn cards in the deck, like
exactly.
Like the scale effects.
The scale effects of them.
They only have one target.
And stuff like Current Razor too.
Like drawing like multiple normal summons to this, or drawing multiple to this can just make your hand really dead a lot of the time. But so you could consider cutting it to 2, but this is just like
it's another 3 copies of double Iris.
More 3 of the double Iris, 3 of each of these cards is a spell on the trap, and 3 of Sorcerer. So it's just again more consistency. Again, you don't need to play a second copy of either of these at the moment because you're not playing Desires. You could maybe play the second copy of the trap for like grind games.
Sometimes comes up.
Sometimes comes up, but I think you only ever need one of the spell. Since you're not playing stuff in Desires anymore, because Desires would conflict with particularly things like the Astrograph, hitting the banish this, for example, it would hurt.
It's also kind of going first format, so you don't want to play like multiple traps. If you're going second.
That's the thing, because if you lose the dice roll, you kind of get.
There's just Gynets like.
Exactly. That's the big problem. This card is really, really just insane.
Ridiculous.
It's pretty stupid. And that's the main deck. It's 40 cards, but this was like it took us a long time to try and figure out how to keep this deck down at 40. And there's a bunch of different variants you can run with it.
As you can see, we're also not playing Black Fang.
There's no Black Fang in the deck at the moment, because it's
probably the worst one.
It's probably just the worst Magician. Like I remember when people were thinking that you would play less than 3 of it in current Magician, like pre-EXFO. And like some people are back and forth on it, some people run too. But like with all these extra cards you're forced to run, you just have no room for it.
I think it was only originally good because Strike, but like
exactly.
Barrier replaces Strike.
If Strike's prevalent in the format, you can start playing Black Fang again. I guess.
Like I think D-Bar will always be stronger.
That's the thing. Just stopping them summoning in the first place is probably just better off. But like You could maybe potentially put in 1 to 2 copies, but you would like definitely not play 3. But again, like, this deck is incredibly
If you can somehow find space for 3, let me know.
Yeah, please let us know.
You're a magician if you can find space for 3.
Yeah, you're either
or you're playing more than 40.
Yeah, you're either playing more than 40, have the most insane build ever, or it's awful. So it's one of those. But we won't tell you which. So for the extra deck, playing 2 copies of Electrum.
The best cards.
This card is just insane. So in case people don't know what it does, on summon, it takes a Pendulum monster from your deck and places it face up in your extra deck.
If you want to.
If you want to. It's an optional effect. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Play around Ogre sometimes. And then you can destroy a face-up card to control.
One other face-up card.
One other face-up card to control. You can't pop itself. And if you do, you add a Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. So it's basically like Rhoda, just by popping something. And then if a card leaves your Pendulum zone, you draw a card. So even if it's by Cosmic Cyclone, you'll draw a card. That effect is mandatory, and it is hard once per turn. The other ones are soft once per turn, so you can, like, if you make a second one, you can pop it again and whatnot.
It's also like you draw on your turn, and then you just pass turn, flip the trap.
Yeah,
like exactly. And draw.
No draw. Yeah, you could draw like
trap on their turn.
Yeah, something kind of cool. Like if Spiral doesn't get hit a lot, is a lot of the time they'll go drone and they'll stack a hand trap to the top of your deck. Yeah. And then like they go like summon Agent, for example, and then you just flip the trap. You pop the guy, and then you draw into the hand trap they stacked on top of your deck because they didn't think you'd be able to get onto it. And like disrupt their turn further. Just small stuff like that, but this card is just insane. You could potentially play 3 of it.
Yeah.
But
it's also Mithrilium.
It is also just Mithrilium, which is pretty cool.
It's Mithrilium and Alcaz put together or something, right?
Yeah.
That's the Green Wings. Game.
It's a pretty cool card. I do like it a lot. 2 is like necessary. 3 is you can potentially play, but we're playing 2 for now because you have some other cards in here that you can't force.
The room is quite tight.
Exactly. The other links you play are 1 Decode Talker and 1 Borload Dragon. The decode is just for some weird scenarios where you just need like
you want to run a clear space.
Yeah, clear
it's
space.
It's also just really good when you get cherries for Electron Knight, because you can just do the standard like trapeze decode ticket.
Yeah, which is really strong. And the Borload is good in. It's kind of mediocre in the mirror match, but in certain other matchups, just having something that can't be targeted by the monster effects.
BA.
Yeah, like kills BA to an extent. It's kind of good against stuff like ABC and things such as that.
Yeah.
Because they like wait to use their buster effect to banish and you just summon this and you can't do anything about it.
It's unaffected by monster effects, right?
It can't be targeted by other monster effects.
Oh, okay, so Garudix can out it, it's fine.
Okay. Yes, it's fine,
Fire King deck profile coming soon.
Winning deck profile, Dublin Regional, February 2018.
Alright, 14th place. Your little Chimera's broken.
Love it.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's a rare.
Yeah, it came out in this set.
Why haven't I seen one?
I have 2 in my deck.
Nice. So those are all the links we play. It's 4 links. You could maybe play a third Electrum, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. For the Xyz, we play 1 Time Star, just because it's really good for setting up for next turn. And stuff
that's Astrograph too, which is kind of fun.
That's really strong. That's Astrograph and Joker.
Yeah,
it's so good. And then play 1 Tornado Dragon. Just like good solid removal. And there's also times where like you're forced to pop your own double iris just a good thing to go into. If you can't make if you're in a weird scenario where like if they like cherries you or something like that, this is just good to pop your double iris, get your trap online. 1 Evil Swarm Nightmare. This card is extremely underrated. I would say this card is probably one of the it's going to be one of the standard cards in next format. It's Book of Moon. That's not once per turn. So like. It's because it's not once per turn. They summon twice. It's not just twice. You can just book it twice. Which is really important in like mirror matches and stuff. So if you go first and establish this, and if they do if they have their own Astrochrona stuff, you just book a moon the second guy they ever make. And
you can like hit the Curtain Raiser.
Yeah, exactly.
And then hit the Pendulum Summon.
Curtain Raiser was like. If they normal Curtain Raiser, it's kind of annoying because it goes to 22, but if they don't read this card properly and just go effect the special Curtain Raiser, you just book a moon straight away. And then they lose all their advantage. And then we play Bagustica because it's just another good way to just like hold off for a little bit longer if your hand's a bit weak. Like these 2 are like your 2 main defensive rank along with the Tomato Dragon to an extent. Yeah, it depends. This card can be a bit more offensive as well. But yeah, like these are like your main ones would be going into most often. And then the other ones we'd be making the Trapeze for like OTKs. Exactly. You can OTK so easily in this deck.
It also helps you kill Trickstar. Because they can't do damage.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. And like there's so many things in this deck that work off being popped. So like even if you don't kill them, you just like pop a double iris and get something else. One Supreme King Dark Rebellion. This 2 together in a combo is like the most insane thing.
Most damage ever. Yeah.
In the current, in the format with like Spiral currently right now, a lot of people will be like set up Sleeper Decode with their Last Resort equipped. So you go like make a board and they Sleeper pop, and that's like if you make like the Ignister first to get at the sleeper. And then it's like, okay, they give you a zone, but you still have your extra monster zone, so you just go summon this, and then you attack into their sleeper with the last resort equipped, so it stays at 0, but it can't be destroyed by battle. So you just attack twice for like 10,500.
Yeah, and like this is it's basically just BLS honest.
Yeah, more or less. That's it.
XYZs.
Yeah, and this card doesn't target as well, which
ridiculous,
is like, insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
Does honest target?
Weird.
I think so.
And then the last XE monster we play is one Marino, the Moral Leader.
Yeah.
You can theoretically play 2 Oath Dragon to make this more often, so you can summon Oath Dragon off Harmonizing Magician.
And like,
But we're trying to find. We could probably cut like a purple poison for an Oath Dragon.
Yeah, you could potentially do that.
The only problem with that is it's like less level 4 monsters, which is like really shady.
That's the thing. Like the majority of these are level 4s, but this is just here in like the times you can make it.
So it's a Shien basically.
The Gates of Spell and Trap, which is incredibly important for next format because of wavering, and also because of even rematch, which is a big thing. Like even
and it's also
format.
huge.
It is. Yeah, 27 is massive, and a lot of people just like seem to not respect this card. So like, I don't know. And also like it just punishes so many weak hands. So these are all the exceeds. I think it's like 7. There's also talk that we could play the Odd Eyes Absolute and Vortex Dragon engine. Because it's like it's 2 level 7s to make a rank 7, so just 2 astrographs. And then if you have, for example, not the Warlord, if you have the Electromite and
you pop it and
or like not even pop it. If you have the Absolute Dragon in this, you just make a decode and then you just summon the the guy out, which is just like you just get another negation, which is just really strong. And there's just like a couple of other ideas for deck. The extra deck space is also really tight. For extra deck there, and for other synchros, we play 1 Omega.
You can play 2.
You can play 2. If you're playing 2, you probably want to play White Wing in the deck. Again, we just don't have room at the moment. There's a bunch of other ways you can like justify playing 2. There's also a good chance this character just could go to 1 of the panels. And like, so we're just preparing for the worst, I suppose. Like usually, I wouldn't recommend making this card if they have a handful of 5 cards. Like if you only make like this in a rank 4, it's kind of mediocre. I would say you really want to make this if they've already like ashed your ogre to use like any form of hand trap, and you're able to play through it and make this. This is just a good thing to like make them stand in even less cards, I think. And then we have Ignister because it's Ignister. It's absolutely just busted. You could potentially play Luster to summon off it, but like Luster's a bit bricky with this deck. And then we play the 1 Supreme King Dragon 2.
The most broken.
This card is
so ridiculous.
Absolutely insane. It's Regeki on legs. Like it's just like it's insane.
And it's what's it?
It's also what's it?
Flaming Man.
Yeah, Flaming Man, which is just like again like just like so. For example, in like mirror matches, if they're playing like Black Fang or something, and you summon this, and
he also just runs over Time Star. For 25.
Which is just like really important. Just like because like there are, a lot of the times in the mirror match they're gonna make Time Star, so they can play around your wavering. That's another important effective Time Star for the new format. And like having this to just get rid of it is really strong.
And then we got like the last one of the best.
The 1 fusion monster.
Yeah, it's the Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom. So this card, its effect is it's basically just a copy of any monster that's on the field or in the grave. So sometimes if you're gone through both of your Electrums, you can just summon this and copy the Electrum effect. Just pop and add back something, which is just really strong. And also just being like 28 is pretty huge, and just piercing. So like against stuff like Tricksters, it just goes through goats, so it just does game a lot of the time as well. This card is really insane. It's like one of the reasons you could justify not playing 3 Electrums, basically.
And it can also target opponents' cards, cards in their grave. So like
copy their Ignisters and stuff.
Things such as that. Ignister is like a massive one that you can copy, and it's just like you could technically copy an Omega if you really want to get rid of the card out of their hand, but your guy won't come back. It's really strange.
But like if your opponent cherries you, and then they have an Electromite on board, or grave, you can use this to copy Electromite and start popping off your cards.
That as well, which is just like really strong.
It's just one probably the most versatile card outside of like Tornado Dragon.
It's really cool. It's basically a Link monster, but without the arrows.
Pretty much, It's like just really insane.
It's super generic as well.
Just two guys.
Two guys.
Like it's another reason why Astrograph and stuff are good, because you can make this with that.
You can also make it with Curtain Razor as well, which is really strong.
So 2 Dark Panels.
Just 2 Dark Panels.
Any final comments on or?
This deck, if they hit Spiral, will probably just be the next Spiral to an extent.
Shout out
slightly more fun.
Bradley Haywood.
It's pretty fun. Oh yeah, shout outs to Bradley Haywood for this mat.
Yeah.
It's the best mat of all time.
It is.
Locals doesn't even know I hit it. Maxi.
Yeah.
Except when you lose the True Joker.
When you lose to Zafion.
I got Zafion for 3 Cosmic Cyclones today. So bad.
When you open Cosmic Desires and Desires into 2 more Cosmics.
Oh, I want to buy one. This is the most depressing second place Locals finish of all time. But the match still.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for that, Cormac.
Yeah, sure. No worries. See you.
Cheers. Team Kuribrohs signing out.